We'd like to welcome you to Wilson County Television as we get a chance to talk about what happened last month here in Wilson County. And there's always things that are going on in our county and fast paced, and so it's my joy to get a chance to bring the activities that have happened. You may have heard about them, but we'll kind of put them all in a nutshell for you. First thing I would like to do is just invite you to, if I have anybody out there with a CDL license, we're looking for people to haul the trash trucks around in Wilson County and maybe to Smith County. We're looking for folks that have a CDL license, not necessarily do they have to have a health card. We're looking for people that could work either full-time or part-time. So if you have a CDL working for someone else and you want to make a little extra money for Christmas, and we'd love for you to call Cindy Lynch at our landfill. I think it pays about $17.61 an hour. And we would just, we could use you either on the full-time positions. It's either 5 8-hour days or 4 10-hour days, and then of course it's Saturdays and Sundays as well, and so you could pick up some part-time there as well if you'd like to do that. So please contact her at the landfill, Cindy Lynch. If you do not are not able to get a hold of her, you can call Sarah Davenport in my office at 615-444-1383, and she can kind of direct you to Miss Cindy Lynch. I would like to congratulate Mr. Tommy Bryan, which was named to the Sports Writers Hall of Fame this last month, and congrats to him. He's been the voice of the Blue Devils, and when you hear that voice, it's kind of like hearing John Ward's voice. If you're a Tennessee Vol fan, you know exactly who is on the other end of that mic, and so congrats to him. Also, we lost a commissioner, Mr. Gary Tarpley, former commissioner in Watertown for a long time, and so our condolences go to his family last month. He just did a tremendous job there, and we want to recognize and remember his family in this time. Had a chance to go to Hal Bone's open house, kind of a corporate office open house that he had on Tennessee Boulevard. He has a great building out there. If you hadn't had a chance to go by and see it, please do. They do about 4 or 5 different things, but he had me to come out and offer the prayer for that, and I appreciate him asking me to do that. We also had a celebration of Mr. Clyde Woods from Watertown, turned 100 years old, and thanks to Quentin Smith for making that happen out there. Good birthday party, and it was great to see Mr. Clyde. Thanks to Lindsay and Miss Shari at the Veteran Service Office. They put on the POW MIA recognition ceremony, and thanks to them for doing that. They did this kind of in the absence of a VSO. And that Michael McPherson had, of course, as you remember, retired and or resigned to go back home to work close, so he didn't have to be on the road so much. And so we thank them for making that happen in the absence of having a VSO director. Had a chance to work the FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes Fall Banquet for Mr. Tim Bryan, MC that. He does a tremendous job with that. A chance to go out also to R.J. Corman facility, which took over for the National Eastern Railroad Company, and it was a great visit there. They talked about all the different measures that they're putting in and adding to it. As you may know, the RTA, the Regional Transit Authority, has adopted some new colors. They're purple, and so if you go by, you'll see we've got some new locomotive engines that have been refurbished and painted, so they've got WeGo on the side of them, and it is a kind of a neat deal for that. They've got some, also the RTA approved some new passenger cars, and they're going to be stainless steel, and you'll see those before long, which are really going to be sparkly as they travel up and down from Lebanon into Nashville. I will say that it is my turn to be the chair of the RTA this time in Nashville as we look towards trying to find ways to make more trips happen. They've done an LRC study along with Steve Bland, the CEO of the Transit Authority, and so we're looking at how can we make those trips happen. Again, we continue to talk about trying to add a bus loop to that, so we look to make that a little more feasible for our citizens to use. It was a great day at Sellers Funeral Home, or right across from Sellers Funeral Home, as they welcome in the Christmas Village here this last month, which we think is going to be a big hit for the Mountain Jude area, but also for Wilson County. As people will travel in there, they say tour buses would come in. So thanks to Judge Sellers and all the Sellers family for what they contribute to Wilson County. I'd like to say thanks to Sarah Davenport in our office. She submitted, as each year the Greater Nashville Regional Council recognizes different events that happen out here in our county, or people doing different things, such as the Hamilton Springs First Transit-Oriented Development here in Wilson County. We had some murals that got started by our Tourism Department and Amy Nichols and those folks who are part of that. But Sarah submitted 6 opportunities for awards, you may say. She won 5 out of 6 down there, or the county won 5 out of 6. And that is a great event because there are 13 counties and 52 cities competing for these awards. And so thanks to Sarah's and all the winners are there. As we were trying to put those out periodically over the next month or so in the paper, so you'll see those winners come out and the people that were involved. So I won't mention every one of those right now, but look forward to seeing those in the paper. And hopefully Ms. Bush will get those also, maybe on TV for you to see those as well. And she'll maybe do an interview with Sarah as she talks about those. Thanks to Melanie Mentor and Lebanon Sports Council for bringing Philip Former to the Capitol Theater. It was great to hear him talk, and we talked about it was kind of a tough season for us Tennessee Vol fans, but he gave a different light to what's going on in that rebuilding program. And of course, the Alabama game that happened this week, we played a lot better than I expected, and so hats off to him and those guys for coming and continuing to fight to make that university continue to thrive. Joe Bond has done Cedar Recovery Center. Had a chance to go to that open house where it helps people deal with their addictions, and so I'm thankful for him and what he brings to the county for that, as we have Susan Shaw and Drug Free Wilco that continues to thrive in that endeavor. As you know, there's a lot of work being done on the opioid crisis, and so I'm thankful to people like Joe that continue to be a partner in that. Cindy Lynch and her staff had the hazardous waste chemical collection last Saturday. Thanks to that, gives our homeowners a chance to get rid of some chemicals that they can't normally get rid of during the year, and so we're thankful that they had that opportunity to do that. Had a great celebration at the expo with the Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital as they kind of get off the ground and get started. Jay Hindley, the CEO there, came and made that presentation to probably a crowd of about 500 or 600 folks that came out. We did the Power of 10 Summit here just recently on how to handle growth and how to deal with growth as it happens in the county. At that same time, we left with the 5 county mayors around Nashville and met with a new Nashville mayor along with a TDOT commissioner, Mr. Clay Bright, and talked about what does transit and transportation look like in Wilson County and the surrounding Middle Tennessee area over the next 10 to 15 years. And so we're working together to make those plans and hopefully make your commute a little bit better. We are excited that in Wilson County we are the only ones that have a train right now that people can take part in, but we want to continue to develop that transit corridors as we get in and out of Nashville, and hopefully you're not spending time in the car and you're getting to spend it at work or at home with your families. We did have a chance to go to the opening ceremony of the Habitat for Humanity, where Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter, and his wife kicked that off in Nashville last Sunday, as a matter of fact. And, Mr. Carter, of course, President Carter had fell at his home that morning, had about 14 stitches over his eye. He's 95 years old, but that did not slow him down. He was there to come in and start that ceremony off. And, of course, for the whole week, they built houses, I think 22 houses in Nashville. And so, I'm thankful to be a part of that, and thankful for John Grant and those folks around here that do Habitat for Humanity. We've had a chance to be a part of one of those bills. Commissioner Sarah Patton actually led the charge for the commission last year, and a few of us got to go out and do a bill there. This year, the time did not work out, but next year we hope to be a part of another Habitat. So thanks for those people that work on making housing affordable and housing available to the citizens of Wilson County. The Tough Mudder event was a big event for us here in Wilson County. Thanks to the Neal Farm for hosting that. They had over 2,000 people to be that signed up for that event. I did not get a chance to go out for that day. I did go for the registration, did a little goat yoga that day, and it was exciting to do that with Miss Amy and her staff, but that was a good time. I would say that we did elect and a VSO, Veteran Service Officer now for Wilson County. We talked about Michael McPherson leaving us and staying a little bit closer to home, and we're proud to present to Miss Sabrina C. That's a 20-year Lieutenant Colonel retired veteran from Wilson County. I believe she'll do a tremendous job. She has a lot to offer, and look forward to seeing her interview before long on TV as well, as she will come and kind of tell you a little bit about herself and what her goals are to serve the Wilson County veterans. Had a chance to talk with Miss Ann Holt. You'll probably remember her from the TV show, or the TV news broadcast, and she came to do a special on the Pickett Chapel restoration. Out there with Miss Mary Harris, which has been working on that for quite some time, and it will be a good project. She's bringing light to that as they kind of turn the corner. I'm thankful for the commission. The commission kind of helped Miss Harris and that whole community salvage that church by going together and paying off the the down payment that needed to be paid or the full in payment of the money that was still owed on the church, so that every time they have a fundraiser now, that money will go towards registration. And thanks to Ms. Annette Stafford and others that actually made that happen through the County Commission. Got a chance to serve some spaghetti this last week at the Mount Juliet Senior Citizens. Always a fun time down there. That's their annual fundraiser. And of course, Oktoberfest was a big time this weekend at Wilson Bank and Trust. As we look towards the fall, I think there's several things that we want to recognize. A lot of people having different events there. But as we talk about fall, you think about people that maybe do not have a home at this time. And so our Homeless Coalition is really ranking their projects up and trying to make things happen a little bit quicker and moving forward with their coalition. They have made the steps to identify all the resources that are there, and so now they're trying to rank the projects that are going to come in front of what's going to be next to how to handle the housing or the homeless issue here, and maybe how to house some of our folks that maybe are not in a home right now. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, please contact Jim Kittle at our office. John Grant is also helping him with Compassionate Hands. But if you'd like to be a part of that, we do want to identify what is going to be our next steps in that Homeless Coalition. Outside of that, I guess I have one last thing to offer to you, is that this will be the 3-year anniversary of the Expo come November. And when we first began, we said, hey, we don't want to be in the catering business. We would like to let people come in that are locals here and offer our food. So we set out for people to enlist of that. We kind of put them on a menu, you may say, for our customers to pick from. And as they do that, they have to give 15% of their profits back to the Expo to kind of help the Expo make ends meet. Well, we did that for quite some time, but we think it's time to open that enrollment back up. So if you're a vendor or would like to serve food there, please contact Charity Toombs at the Expo. She can direct you of how you can be on our vendor list, and so that you could also serve food to people that are having events out there. That pretty much does it for the time. I'll leave you with one last question I get asked quite often. When is emissions testing going away? I did contact Miss Emily, and Miss Emily said that they have done most everything that needs to be done now on her end at the state. There are going to be a public hearing. It's going to be in Nashville on November the 19th. Chattanooga is also doing their best to get out of the attainment area as well, and so they'll have their public hearing on November the 21st. But both areas are trying to get out of emission testing. Once that public hearing is done, where they answer people's questions on, okay, if you take emissions away, what does it look like here in our county as far as air quality is concerned? So they'll answer those questions, and then they'll submit their plan to the EPA. They have 18 months actually from that time to make that happen. We think it'll happen probably in 12. So you're looking at about a year from now for the emissions to go away. Once EPA clears us, then the state will do away with their contract with the companies that actually do the emissions testing, and then you'll be free and clear of having to go to the emissions station before you come and get your tags again. So hopefully that's some good information for you. I know it's not as soon as you'd like for it to be, but it is still working in the process. Otherwise, we wish you a good month, and we look forward to seeing you here again next month, same time, same channel. Have a good day.